The emes says, this shiur should really start on the last line on page 172. Lapel mamish, the shiur begins on top of page Ayin Amud Aleph, the Hagor. But the emes is the last line on page Vav Amud Beis. Ve'inyan amshacha v'atzilas eichel ma'yidu l'maskilim. What is the Rebbe teaching us? The Rebbe is teaching us, first of all, you should know there's something called Eid Ein Sof. Lagabi Eid Ein Sof, you can't even say Chochem, because Chochem is nothing Lagabi Atzmus. We make a big deal out of Chochem because that's our perspective. But if we knew what Atzmus knows, it's an insult to the Eibishter to say Chochem. Chochem is a siyah by the Eibishter. So the Shittas HaMaharal, as I explained to you at length in the earlier Shiyudim, the Lagabi Ein Sof, nothing is any significance. On the other hand, there are Esses Sfiras, right, which we're going to be discussing in the next Perek more, right? The Eibishter allows us to speak in terms of Sfiras for various reasons. There's a variety of reasons why we're allowed to speak about Esses Sfiras. Ultimately, it's because it brings Alakus closer to us, it brings us closer to Alakus. But if we knew what God knows, we would see there's no such thing as Esses Sfiras. He says, so big maskilim know it all. And then he says, Nahagor, say that Tzimtzum Beidin Sav Baruch Hu, the Tzimtzum Arish. And then the Tzimtzum Ak, the Tzimtzum that separates Ak from Akudim. The Seid Diknan, the Seid of the Tzimtzum in Keser. Diknan is Keser. And you know, there's an Ayin Beis, a shtikele, we explain each one of these Tzimtzumim. What Seid Tzimtzum Arishin, Tzimtzum Ak, and Seid Diknan. Look, they should say, Kol HaTzimtzumim, the secret of all the Tzimtzumim. Should say, Kol HaTzimtzumim, the point of all these Tzimtzumim is L'tzamtzum Ha'eh, to contract the light. Say, Yishlabesh, B'chinas Kalim, the Yutzir, should go into the 10 Kalim of the Esses Sfiras of Atzilus, which is the Rambam's Hu Yedei and Hu Yidu and Hu Amada, which is the whole issue that we're dealing with. Once the Eid Ein Sof is mislabish, B'chinas Kalim the Chabad and the 10 Sfiras of Atzilus, all Shayach Laim and Mashkos of the Rambam. Then the Rambam, we agree with the Rambam, not like the Maharal. In Sev of Kalalman, in Eid Ein Sof, in Kutsha B'richu, we agree with the Maharal that you can't say Chochma. But in Atzilus, we agree with the Rambam. Hu Yedei Hu Amada Hu Yadu. He's the knower, he's the tool of the knowledge, and he's what is known. And you know what is known? Das ist uns. We're part of that scheme. He knows by knowing himself. Because the Kelim of Atzilus, Nasim the Neshama v'Chayis l'Biyad, they become the Neshama and vitality of the lower worlds. Everything which is in them. And therefore, from the perspective of Atzilus, you could say that Yitzira and Bria and Asiya are included in Atzilus, and Atzilus knows them by knowing himself. Without the tzimtzum and the coming into the vessels of Atzilus, you can't even say he's the knowledge, the knower, and the known, because he's Ein Sof. You can't even say the Shach has to das, as the Alter Rebbe said in the beginning of this Perek test. He's higher and higher than the Inyan of das in an infinite way. Even the Chochma, which is the highest of the 10 Sfiras, to the extent that the Madrega of Chochma is Nechshaves Etzlei Yisbarach, is considered as far as Hashem is concerned, here he doesn't finish Moshe Kosav Kulam Chochma Sisa, because he spoke about Arichas inside, but in Perek Beis he finishes off Moshe Kosav Kulam Chochma Sisa. Chochma Datzilus is Kasiyah Gufn Etzlei Yisbarach. This Agor is a repetition of what we've been discussing the whole time, and it's Naitzem Agor and Perek Beis. Look at Zevihine. Ain't Lanu Asik ben Estadas. We don't have an Asik, a preoccupation with Estadas. And this means two things. Number one, we don't understand Eid Ein Sof, Sev of Kalman. And number two, we don't even understand the Sfiras of Atzilus. The Alter Rebbe says, Ain't Lanu Asik ben Estadas. In Tanya Perek Lametes, and Dafna Gimel Lamed Aleph, about Atzilus. Weißt du? It says, Ain't Lanu Asik ben Estadas about Atzilus. So the Alter Rebbe says over here, says there may be maskilim who understand Eid Ein Sof and they understand the Sfiras of Atzilus, and in the Hagor the Rebbe says how the Tzimtzumim go from Ein Sof to Atzilus. But we don't have Eisik ben Estar. It's like the Hachaniglas Lanu. What is revealed to us is Lahamin Emunah Shleim, to have complete Emunah. And what is this Emunah? The Iyo V'Gameicha, that Hashem and His Kelim are one. The Hainu, this means that Midei Sev Shal HaKadosh Baruch, the Midas of the Eibishter, which we call Sfiras, or the Tzeinei V'Chachmasei U'Binasei V'Daitei. In Mahusei V'Atzmusei, with Hashem Himself, Hamerumim, which is exalted, Lavadei, by Himself, Reimim V'Sein Ketz, an exaltedness which is immeasurable. Mibechinas Chachma V'Seichel V'Asaga, higher than the level of Chachma and Seichel and Asagma. L'cheira Chachma and Seichel is both Chachma, and Asaga is Bina. Well, consequently, Gam Yechudei, the union, The unity between Ihu, between Ein Sof, between Sevav Kalalman, between Shlila and the Svidus, which is called Chiyuv, and as the Svidus of Atzilus, Shehetzel Me'ita Yizbarach, that have been radiated, emanated from Sevav Kalam, from the Eibishter, Gamken Eini Bebechinas Asaga, we can't understand, Lahasik, to understand Eich Mis Yachar Ben, how does this unity? Okay? But nevertheless, the unity exists. Alter Rebbe is saying, we don't understand the Ein Sof, we don't understand the Esesvidus, but we believe in the Esesvidus. That means we don't hold like the Chaykim hold. That the Eibishter creates the world using tools, and the tools are separate from him. It's only that the tools have no Bechira. Right? Like the Chakira model of Achdus that we talked about. We have a muneh in what Kabbalah says, that the tools of creation are Elikus, are Hashemliness, are the creatorliness. And because of that, the tools are one with one another. The tools are one with the Eibishter. And the subsequent Achdus in the world is Shalei Be'erech. And for the first time now, the Alter Rebbe starts using the word Svidus. Nikru Medeitesh ala Kadosh Baruch Hu Shehein HaSvidus. The midas of the Eibush, which are the Svidus, are called in Zayar. B'Zayar HaKadosh Rosh Hashanah, the secret of Amunah. What's it Amunah? She'Amunah Shalom Alam Nasech. It's in von Amunah, Hechaf HaVerstand. But the Nekuda is that the Svidus are the lights of Hashem. And there's two parts to it. One is that the Svidus themselves are the lights of Hashem, and therefore one with one another, one with the Eibishter. And the second one is that Lagabi Sevav Kalam Yibachal cannot say any infant Svidus.